Hello, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Are you ready for March 2023? Because your Lord Saturn is leaving the sign of Aquarius, which matters to you because he moves into the house 1 over Pisces, sextiles you over his shoulder, and loves you up starting on March the 7th. This is going to be a new change, a sea change of energy that you're going to experience as positive, and this will last for 3 years as well. In the very merry month of March, Pluto moves into the sign of Aquarius, which is your house of earnings, resources, and money. And a lot of people ask me if they should be afraid. And I'm saying no, because Pluto in your second house of earnings can bring you wealth. And so we're going to talk about that as well, as Pluto will enter into this part of your sky in March, but it'd be here for 20 years, over 20 years. So it's going to be a big energy that's showing you a bit about what it wants to give you. Not all the action is going to be in the month of March. And last but not least, we're also going to talk a little bit about the fact that Mars is moving out of Gemini after 7 months, and that Venus and Mercury are up to some really interesting stuff. In these videos, we do not cover, by the way, the new moon, full moon cycle. Those are my regular videos on my channel. Finally, if you're new to my channel, my name is Lori Lothian, and I'm a whole sign house Hellenistic astrologer. I use the Western tropical zodiac, not the sidereal. And if you're new here, my description box shows everything I'm doing, the classes I'm teaching, Sky Reader, Be Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life in March. Check it out below and get on my wait list. Finally, Patreon gets all of my content ahead of time, ad-free, ad early access, as well as discount codes for courses and readings with me, as well as a couple of times a month a Zoom meeting with me. For as little as $5, you get all of that a month. And you can always quit if you don't like that. But some people hate watching ads here on YouTube land, and getting things ahead of everybody else is always nice as well. All right, let's get going and talk about you. So first of all, Capricorn, you have been leading the way for the world because you're the sign that has had the movement of Saturn through the entire through the entire sign of Capricorn since 2008. And this is important that you recognize that you've been through it. You have been through it. Pluto, power, transformation, crisis, mutation, metamorphosis, butterfly, caterpillar, death and rebirth. You've been going through it ever since 2008. It is kind of coming to an end now. And it really fully ends in 2024. You might want to check that video by me called Pluto in Aquarius, big transits, in my 2023 playlist, because it gives you a sense of what's happening next and deep dive. But you've coded your life, Capricorn, to experience a planet that takes 248 years to go around the zodiac or the sky or the sun, to do that in the house of you, your identity, your body, your sense of self. Okay, now the Aquarians are getting it next, but you did that. You're brave. That's your incarnational strategy, because you're not going to live 248 years, right, to see it again. And some people will never have that transit of Pluto through their first house. So you did it. It's over. Pat yourself on the back. It's finishing up. Now there's kind of like a temporary relief coming this month on the 24th of the month, as Pluto leaves your sign and moves into Aquarius. And so this is when you get the first taste of what will be a longer narrative, okay, a much longer narrative, because Pluto will basically be then in 2024 making a trip back into Aquarius and leaving you for the rest of your life. I know a few Cap risings who've been through a lot. Now it's Cap rising more so than sun and moon, because Pluto going over your sun could have been death of father figures. Pluto going over your moon in Capricorn could have been death of mother figures, or the relationship to these people. And your rising sign is about you. So now you've got Pluto moving into Aquarius on March the 24th, and will be there until the end of the month, in fact, until June 11th. So this is the beginning of you getting a handle on your Pluto power, a wealth god in a money house. Resources, earnings. It can activate your investments and your savings and your stock market stuff and your 401k across the way. It's going to generate an axis of energy between 5, 11, 8, and 2, which is all about the money story. So for a lot of you, Capricorn rising people especially, you're beginning to start to feel some new sense of power and wealth coming into your story. Now, Pluto, if someone's born with Pluto in the second house, they're quite wealthy. But now you get a 2044 till 2044, the beginning of a story where Pluto's trying to generate like that kind of energy for you. So we'll see, right? Because he's doing a lot of things over the years, and you could do a whole like 5-hour webinar on that very topic of Pluto traveling through the entirety of Aquarius and how it might influence you financially, because, it's going to be a big deal for you. But you'll see and feel a change as Pluto gets off your back, all right? Especially the late degree Capricorns in the last 5 degrees of Cap, 25 to 29. You've been feeling it the most intensely in the last 4 years. All right, then we want to talk about Lord Saturn, one of the 5 planets changing sign, and so therefore house in whole sign houses during March. Now, Saturn is leaving Aquarius, where Saturn has been traveling ever since 2011. 2011, ever since 2020, March, April. And Aquarius was your finance house, where Pluto's now going. They're kind of swapping out, right? So you have been more sober-minded, realistic, serious, conservative around your money. Hopefully Saturn put the pegs in place for you to thrive, because he is the Lord of Capricorn, your most important planet. And so therefore, you're done now, that 3-year journey, as Saturn leaves on March the 7th, shoring up your resources, finances, money situation, etc., and moves into your 3rd house. Now, 3rd house can be about your extended family, like your siblings, maybe a youngest sibling or just siblings in general, aunts, uncle, cousins, nieces, and nephews. Saturn can bring hardship. There may become a difficult time, therefore, starting March 7th of this March, through to February of 2026, where you experience challenges with siblings, but also, unfortunately, the health of a sibling could be an issue over the next few years. Saturn here can help you really find a enduring and lasting neighborhood to live in, because it could be that, especially if your IC floats in the 3rd house, you're changing your neighborhood. He can help you consolidate your, he can restrict your short-term trips and travels. Like if you thought you were going to gallivant and do a lot of like zipping around, like, from one place to the other, a lot of travel, in the next 3 years, you're going to be curtailing your travels. But you can also be working hard on writing a writing project, your online world, your business on your website, things to do with social media, and just digging in or writing, because it's a writing house, writing and really working hard to complete a writing project over the next 3 years for Capricorn rising especially. And, because he's going through this 3rd house, which he'll be in for such a long time, if you're an early born Capricorn in the first 10 degrees of Capricorn rising, sun and moon secondarily, you get the most sense of what this is about in 2023, because Saturn only travels to the 7th degree and then turns around in 23. So that's a range of influence. So it's the earlier born Caps that feel this new energy coming in on March the 7th, more so than the later born Capricorn. All right, so then Mars. Yes, Mars. Mars spent like 7 months in Gemini, once in a lifetime, extraordinarily rare, long duration transit. He got there around the 20th of August, and he's leaving on the 26th of the month of March. So you've got the last leg of a direct motion, speeded up Mars, moving through your 6th house of health issues, sickness, but he's in the house of his joy, work routines, work situations, office, colleagues, employers, tenants, leasing, tenancies, renting, leasing property, and pets. Now, during the 7 months, you may have had challenges here because Mercury's trying to work something out. You might have had surgeries. Mars is in the house of sickness. You may have had problems with pets, accidents with pets, just problems with pets. Mars is, sometimes problematic. Even situations of uncertainty and doubt or back and forth energy, because you retrograded here around where you want to live if it comes to leasing a property to become a tenant, or the other way as a landlord to find the appropriate person to rent your property. Anyway, all of that's kind of done now, because on January 12th, he headed direct. And so he's moving faster and faster, getting more and more momentum in the area of your sky. So you can count on that to complete. That narrative will complete by March the 24th, all right? And then he'll be stepping for 6 weeks into your 7th house of marriage and business and partnerships and legal matters. Well, sometimes this can be combative energy where you or your partner cuts away, business or love, or it fights a lot. ends, severs, or legal issues that you have to contest or go to battle over in order to get the contract signed or the agreements made. So there's all that intensity in your seventh house coming up. I have to say, unfortunately, it's just going to happen. March the 26th adds 6 weeks. So you start to feel the end of the month a little bit of that intensity. And we'll give you a preview, though, at the very end of the month, around the 31st. Mars will love up Saturn, and that could mean that in the very beginning of this transit, something good is trying to happen, as there's a sextile between Saturn and the house of writing, projects, online world, neighborhood, short trips and travel, and Mars in your seventh house of marriage partner. So it could be some kind of, or contracts or legal agreements. So there could be some kind of good energy going on closer to the last 3 days of March and the first couple of days of April. Okay. Next in your story, what I'd like to mention is I'd like to talk about Venus and Mercury, and then we're going to go into the more chronology of the month. So Mercury is going to be going through 2 signs during the month of March. It's a busy month with a lot of energy shifting around for everyone. So from the 3rd of March to the 18th, Mercury, the messenger of the gods, and the Mr. News is fit to print, as well as marketing, selling, and merchandising. This dude has been in Pisces, will be in Pisces from the 3rd to the 18th. And he's moving pretty fast. So it's a pretty short trip through Pisces, but he's going to be talking during that window of time, the 3rd to the 18th, to you about writing, communicating, website building, social media platforms, and trips and travel. He does protect you if you wish to travel, despite Saturn being a longer term 3-year, maybe heaviness around travel. I'd say that with Mercury here, you're probably able to get some trips going if you want, and they will be productive in some way, or just more social life in your local neighborhood. And again, that is March the 3rd to the 18th. And if you're writing, this is an ideal time to really buckle down and get a lot done. Saturn will help you over the 3 years finish that novel, finish that longer term writing project, that thesis, whatever it is you need to do. And Mercury is really kicking in some support, chiming in from the 3rd to the 18th around all things to do with the word writing. Now, March the 19th to April the 4th, then Mercury will actually go into the sign of Aries. And that's going to be your home life, your private life, real estate, property, your mother sometimes, your family of origin. I mean, Mercury here could be about selling and buying property, negotiating real estate deals and negotiations around property, even leasing and tenancies for you, because during the time that he goes into that part of your sky, you still have Mars in the house of tenancies. So you may end a lease, secure a lease, negotiate a lease, extend a lease, or some of you may be buying and selling real estate. If you're going to buy and sell real estate, which is possible here for you, we'll talk more about it later, but getting some support in the sky to do that would be, it's okay. It's okay. You've got some support from Jupiter in your 4th house of property, land, and real estate till the middle of May in order to buy or sell a property. But the same applies to leasing as well. And Mercury being the guy that writes the deals and negotiates the contracts, for some of you, the ideal time for all of this real estate or home activity is most definitely March the 19th to April the 4th. If you can secure a lease or make an offer on a property or put your house on the market and take offers in, this should be a pretty good time. This is general idea. Bell curve astrology. Your chart is your chart. Your life is your life. Do not take financial advice from astrologers unless you're getting a private one-on-one session. Now, Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, and art in the sky, is going to be leaving, the sign of Aries, where she will be from February 20th to March the 17th or so. So March 17th is when she shifts to Taurus, her home dignity. So there's a vibe change in the middle of the month. Before that, you've got Venus in your 4th house of home, and you might be doing things like negotiating, hiring an interior designer, redecorating, beautifying, hosting a female friend or person in your home, doing something to do with art and beauty and stuff from the home. But this is a short window, right? It's going to be already here in March and will complete on the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. I know we do have support from Mercury here as well, right after that, right? On the 19th. So maybe you've been beautifying your home for the first 3 weeks, decorating, staging it, painting it or something. And maybe that's when you want to rent or sell or whatever. So that's going to be one way to read that story. And then on March the 17th, in goes Venus into her home sign in great dignity, loving up your 5th house. This is really a fertility transit. It's very short, but you might grab it if you want to have a baby. March 17th to April 11th, you or your partner can get pregnant. The other thing that can happen is you could have some money luck. This is a good window, temporary once a year chance to win the lottery. St. Patrick's Day on the 17th to April 11th, play the lottery. Know your limit, play within it. Don't overdo it. Venus here can bring in a new love story. If you're single and you're a Capricorn rising, especially, this could be a new love story emerging and, being somewhat bedazzled by it, actually, because Venus here is in great dignity and she could support you finding a really true love because she's traveling with not only Uranus, which is sudden love and, being bedazzled by destined love North Node, but she's also traveling with Juno, the goddess of commitment. And that could lend itself to a bedazzling, exciting love story that also can lead to a commitment. Yes, absolutely. So, commit quicker than later. If you're already in a love relationship and you have a partner in your life, then this could just be some good romance, leisure romantic travel, or just more romantic upswing in your sexual and love life with some existing partner. Also, Venus is going to talk to Saturn, and that's like enduring love, lasting love. I'm not going to, even though I could do this chronologically, I'm going to jump there for you, okay? Because Lord Saturn is your person, and Saturn will sextile Venus, or actually Venus will form a sextile to Saturn on March the 18th. That's the day after St. Patty's Day. That means if you meet somebody near that time frame, give or take a couple of days, this could be a lasting, enduring love from someone you meet on a trip or in the local neighborhood, or yes, online. Dating apps belong to where Saturn is going. For some singletons, this could be quite the yummy romantic window of a destined love that could last, coming your way around the middle of March. But if it's not that and you're not trying to find someone, then maybe it's just a trip with the one you love that turns out to be very good for your deepening of your relationship as a commitment and bringing a deeper sense of camaraderie and friendship to any existing love story. And anything else? Nope, that's all. We're going to chronologically go through the month at this point. Now, for some of these charts, I think for 2 out of the 4 I've recorded, I remembered to draw a wind card for the person. I wanted to draw a wind card for everybody. I think I didn't. But anyway, what's your wind card for the month ahead? What's your guidance? I mostly was thinking about that Saturn transit, but in general, what do Cappies need to know from the wind bag? Mystery, reap what you sow, the Germanic god. Okay, reap what you sow. Well, that's a good old karmic refrain. Hopefully you're reaping the goodness of what you sow, not the negativity. Okay, stepping into the mystery of life, perhaps. Oops, engaging the mystery. Sorry about that, Mike. Okay. Some people said my mic wasn't loud enough. I'm having issues with it. I finally figured out sometimes the Zoom was kicking my mic off and putting me on my laptop when I didn't know that. So hopefully I'm going to get this thing to be consistent. Why am I getting a new mic anyway? Okay, so at the beginning of the month, on the 1st and 2nd of March, but you feel it the last couple of days of February. Venus conjuncts Jupiter in Aries at 12 degrees. Now, Venus is a benefic, Jupiter is a benefic. The two benefics are teaming up. While some people may say there's a planetary war, who's in charge? Also, most astrologers consider this auspicious. And so they're both teaming up, the Venus and Jupiter, in your 4th house of property, home, real estate, private life, domestic life. Sometimes this is inheritances and legacy wealth as well. Jupiter transiting here through to mid-May can bring inheritance money or unexpected financial gains from investments or tax rebates to you, for example. But during this time, the first couple of days of March and 2 days before and 2 days after, maybe, there is some kind of beautiful opportunity, some positive goodness, some lucky energy befalling you in the beginning of March. Then the sun will sextile Uranus around the 6th and 7th of March. Sun-Uranus sextile is something unexpected and maybe sudden, but also maybe quite positive. This is the sun in Pisces, your 3rd house of trips and travel, siblings and singles, cousins, skills-based learning and education. Sextiling Uranus, okay, shock and awe god in your 5th house of children and romance. May have nothing to do with you. Maybe some good news about one of your children getting an educational opportunity. It could be a sudden opportunity for one of your children to travel to you or you to them. It could be a sudden exciting development regarding a love story that connects to local neighborhood online dating apps or something like that. And there's a follow-up to that story that's going to happen when Mercury then sextiles Uranus as well from Pisces to Uranus and Taurus during March 10th and 11th. And that could open up a window that's connected to March 6th and 7th, where some unexpected event happens on 6th and 7th of March. And it's followed up by Mercury, who has to negotiate it, make it all real, sign documents, maybe have lots of conversations going on or messages about the thing that was going on earlier in 6th, 7th of March, now being very full frontal communications involved about it. On March 10th and 11th. Nonetheless, Mercury Uranus can be unexpected, exciting text message, emails, phone calls, news coming in towards you around the March 10th and 11th timeframe. Exciting and positive, because sextiles are the nature of Venus and they're positive. All right. And around the same time, at the same time, March 10th and 11th, Juno, the goddess of commitment, is sextiling Uranus, your Lord, and they're happening to love each other up. Okay, so what could that look like for you? Honestly, around that time frame, I'm going to say it could be very much connected around the 10th and 11th to something to do with a commitment in an existing love relationship. Juno in the 0 degrees of your romance house, and Saturn at the 1 degree of your third. That there's already an understanding that some new relationship is going to go into commitment. It could also be you forming some kind of commitment around travel, leisure travel, or your children, and really sticking the landing on commitment and some lasting results you expect. If you're a writer, though, this could also be a commitment from an agent and an editor or publishing house, or something lucky in the performing arts connecting to something you're creating or writing. And if you have your own independent business enterprise as well, this is really good for something to do with the online world, connecting to success for you in a committed, lasting, maybe contractual way, like a business partnership even. And so that Juno Saturn event is around the same time, 10th and 11th of the month. Moving forward, then, there's this little bit of a third pass of Mars squaring Neptune. Mars is kind of like combative. Neptune is confusion and delusion. Sometimes Mars is trying to clear the delusion fog from your mirror, that you see everything through insanely unrealistic rose-colored Neptunian glasses, because Neptune's in Pisces, right? Like, I see everything as a dream. It's all a dream. But this is happening in your third house. So what is going on to do with your vision of your siblings, your online world, your trips and travel, dreams and goals, or things like that, and visions? And then, Mars is squaring. Like, he's like, like, look more clearly. Let's talk about this. Let's not take action yet. We got to look at this situation. Sometimes Mars square Neptune can also be kind of like a spiritual warrior on steroids, but, it is a square. So I don't know. And this is happening with Mars in Gemini, right? Where he's finishing that long travel through your 6th house of work and work-related themes. Yeah, squaring Neptune in your third house for the third time since August of last year. What illusions and delusions do you have around pets, leases, karmatic relationships, travel, distance travel, neighborhood changes, etc., or something, or someone to do with dating someone online or on the local neighborhood? You could clear any kind of delusions and illusions out of your system during that time. Yeah, you. Chiron, I didn't cover this for everyone, but Chiron does conjunct Jupiter on March 16th, and there's a little bit of, I'm going to do a whole video on this, a little bit of a, oh my God, healing opportunity vibe going on for you in your Aries 4th house of home and real estate. Chiron can mean a shaman close to home, or guide, a mentor, Jupiter opportunity teaching. But also, this could be like clearing out some kind of wound from childhood, or some ancestral wounds, or wounds connected to your mother relationship, in a blowout opportunity of healing as Jupiter and Chiron co-join. That's going to be around the 16th of March. And there's like a big sky story going on from the 15th to the 17th of March. It's so busy. I'll be doing webinars on this stuff. I mean, we have a cazimi. We have Neptune in the heart of the sun with Mercury. 3 planets all lined up together at 25 degrees of the same sign, which is Pisces. So obviously, if your rising sign Capricorn is near 25 degrees or secondarily sun and moon, it's really going to revert back in a positive way towards you. This is a time to get maybe a kind of a divine download about things to do with writing, creative projects that you might want to sell or market. Your independent business enterprise could be opening up a new vision. You might have new visions and dreams and goals around things to do with travel or neighborhoods or online projects. And this is a really intense energy, right? It's all like 3 planets all bundled up at 25 degrees. And it really is like the 15th, 16th, and 17th. It's all kind of super juicy. And then at the same time, that square to Mars is still happening, remember? So Mars has got his opinion about, like, let's clear the fog of delusion. Well, Mercury is getting downloads from God, basically on your behalf, that can help you with greater visions and dreams. I'm going to be doing a whole webinar and a live teaching on this because it's too good to ignore. And then there is a sextile from that whole triple conjunction to Pluto at 29 degrees of the sign of Capricorn. And that becomes more exact around the 19th to the 21st. But the fact that these planets form a sextile to Pluto in Capricorn in the house of you suggests that whatever is going on, you have a huge amount of power and say over how this whole thing plays out. You are the boss of this Kazemi and whatever this is about. Because some of it could be, because of the Mars square, the end of an illusion and delusion around some of those third house themes about your siblings and extended family and about your neighborhood and about travel plans that you had. But like, there's a lot going on at once, guys. It's like pretty intense. And I already told you about Venus sextiling on 18th, sextiling Saturn for some kind of hopefully enduring love and money stuff. Moving into the future, though, we have Mercury conjunct Jupiter. Now, Mercury is a messenger and Jupiter is a king of Mount Olympus, and they're coming together in Aries on the 28th of March. And they're doing that, of course, in your Aries 4th house of home, property, land, and real estate. It could be like a great home offer to buy or sell real estate. It could be signing a most auspicious wealth generating contract. It could be getting news that the inheritance is going through or that you're going to get money from an inheritance. And that's, again, the 28th of March. It's happening around the 18, 19 degrees of Aries, and therefore, if you're Capricorn rising sun or moon, it's within a few degrees at the number 18, 19. You're in the game more thickly and deeply than any old Capricorn person. But it's a positive energy. And so let's see what good news is coming through the home and house and real estate stuff at the end of March. And it could also involve leasing and renting as well, because you did have Mars there also in that house of tenancies and stuff for quite a long time, until the 26th of the month. Venus is conjunct Uranus, sudden, unexpected, exciting money and love surprises coming up on March the 30th to 31st at 16 degrees of the sign of Taurus. This is unexpected money luck in a house of money luck. I mean, that's your lottery wins. That's your casinos, your gaming, your whatever, your jackpots, your bingo night at the bingo hall. So what do I want you to do? I want you to think about playing the lottery. Now, should you play the lottery because an astrologer tells you to? No, you really shouldn't. But can you get hurt by playing the lottery? Not if you do it like within reason, right? Not unless you like don't bet your entire life savings on lottery tickets, but it's a very auspicious window of time. Now, it could also be some good luck and really good, exciting news for one of your children. And if you're going to be pregnant, you're unexpectedly but happily and excitedly pregnant, or your partner is. And also, this energy is just so juicy. Good luck, good news could come also to you from siblings connected to this excitement, because Venus exalts your house of siblings, and she will be going through the house of money luck, connecting to Uranus. So, or childhood friends as well, bringing you some unexpected good news around March 30th and 31st. And can't find anything I want to say about that other than yay you, and let's see how that looks. Now, come on, Venus conjuncts Uranus once a year, right, in your 5th house. So do you win the lottery every year? No, not at all. So, it's, parse that, right? But you do have the North Node of Destiny in this house, which you didn't have for most of those conjunctions since 2018. So having the North Node here amplifies it and means it's going to be bigger and larger than it normally would be. So yeah, exciting times for you. You could definitely look at this as well if you're creative and artistic as in a breakthrough where you download a song, a book idea, some creative project, some vision, like something like pops for you if you're artistic and you come through with some incredibly exciting stuff. And if you have your own business, of course, which is fifth house, this is generating a big pop of something. I mean, the fifth house can be a fame house like the stage. And so maybe a bit of celebrity comes your way in your online business if that's something you do, because activates the third house and she exalts it. It's a really sweet time for third house successes and fifth house successes around the 30th and 31st of March. And on the 31st, but you'll feel it like 4 or 5 days before and a few days after, you'll have Mars trining your Saturn. So Mars is kind of like ambition, willpower, hard and drive and passion. And he's going to be in that first like 0 degree of Cancer, which is kind of swimming around in emotional waters of Cancer, not his happy place, but he's going to do his best by you in your 7th house of business partners, marriage partners, and long-term relationships and legal matters. And he's going to flow back, trining Saturn in the house of journeys, trips, travel, siblings, skills-based education. Could be some real determination here to make a trip happen with your significant other, to form a business alliance or contract regarding third house matters, maybe something to do with your online presence or something to do with education, especially skills-based. Saturn and Mars together work well. It's drive, perseverance, and ambition, really. And so this ambition is really kind of third house, 7th house stuff, like signing deals and negotiations and contracts connected to writing, online world, trips and travel, and education. And, it's really, to me, I mean, because, it's also dovetailing with Juno, moving from March the 11th through to May 2nd in your 5th house. This is like making commitments, signing documents, finding partners in business for creativity or entrepreneurial stuff. So given we have some support from Juno in your 5th house, and then Mars moving through Cancer in your 7th, this definitely can look like contracts, agreements, negotiations to do with your business or your creativity. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that. Did I forget anything for you guys? I hope I gave you 30 minutes. I'm trying to give everybody 30 minutes because March is such a humdinger of a month. And I don't think I forgot anything at all. I'm looking back over my notes and I think I covered it. So hopefully I didn't give you short shrift. Some people think I give Cappies underserved. I don't think I do, actually. I'm looking at my notes to see if I forgot anything I could add. Did I forget anything? Spice it up? Nope. Pluto, 29th degree, anoretic in your sky until the 23rd of the month. No, sorry. Yes, 24th of the month. This is like an intense degree and it's finishing you up after 8 years. So just know there's a lot of you may be feeling it like almost like you're on the verge of something important and you're just feeling like, or you just got to get over the next thing. And it's just, you're at the very edge of something. So a lot of Capricorns, especially late degree Capricorns, last 5 degrees are feeling almost like a kind of like, it's so intense, it's so heavy, it's so big, it's so large. It's like, so if you be patient with yourself, you are Pluto. You don't suffer fools gladly either. You may actually, have like the mafia boss vibe and you're like, Godfather energy ongoing here. So be careful with how you treat other people, especially your significant other. Your Pluto anoretic is turbulent and powerful, and you're carrying that Pluto into your interactions with your children, with your significant other, with your partners in business and stuff. So your siblings even are feeling it. So just know that you feel that intensity that's inside of you right now. It will lighten up on March the 24th as Pluto leaves the anoretic degree. He'll be back on June 11th. Okay, so there you go. But you got a bit of a reprieve. Okay, thanks, Capricorns, for listening. Big hugs, and I'll see you on the other side. Don't forget, subscribe. Don't forget to check my description box, classes, be your own astrologer, time your best life. Check out that. Check out my asteroid course. It's free. My amazing asteroid courses. I sold 250 copies of that replay, and then now I'm just giving it away, and I'm almost at 500 people who've taken it for free. It's an amazing course. Go check it out in the description box. You might be so totally jazzed to find out what you've got going in your asteroids. And it's Capricorn spelled Capricorn in my backdrop. Oh well, not going to change it. Thanks, Capricorns. Be well. Big hugs.